Hello. I want to move on from where we left off last time. And today I'd like to talk about presuppositions. And specifically, I will let you know what my presuppositions are. We're talking, of course, about God beyond religion, eclectic spirituality. I am a Christ follower who has deconstructed from evangelical Christianity, and I embrace now what I call eclectic spirituality. It's syncretistic. I believe that the source of creation, God, if you will, has given mystical revelation over the millennia to a variety of people and cultures. And a lot of times religion has been made from that mystical revelation. But I think that there are things to be gained from many different traditions, as I'd said in the introductory video. And I want to elaborate on the idea that I believe consciousness is the creative source. I 100% buy into the idea that is stated in the Kabbalion that the all is mind and the universe is mental. And further, I believe that we are individual conscious agents, all part of the one universal consciousness or collective consciousness. And I believe that we are co-creators of our material reality. Very important in my view is the concept of the Logos. Of course, that's a Greek word and a Greek concept, and it means word, but it also, in greater detail, means consciousness. And the concept of the word is not unique at all to John's Gospel and to Christianity. It is a ubiquitous concept that has gone on from ages past up until now, and actually cognitive science and quantum science and Rupert Sheldrake with biological science is reinforcing the concept that the universe is a mental construct. So it's only fair that I let you know what my presuppositions are. And first and foremost, as I said, I'm a Christ follower. I was raised in fundamentalist, evangelical Christianity in rural Michigan from 1946, when I was born, until the time that I was about 20 years old. So I was born into a family that had fundamental evangelical beliefs. And so you can understand easily why that greatly influenced my thinking. So I also believe that we as conscious agents choose our birth circumstances and our life path. I have seen a lot of very good information come from numerology. And numerology is based completely on the name and the dates of birth. And yet still, it is as descriptive and specific as is astrology. Now, I realize that there are a lot of people that would say, well, science doesn't accept any of this. And to that, I say simply, so what? I have found, and I'm not a scientist, so I'm not ever trying to speak as a scientist. I speak as a conscious agent that has intuition, that has spiritual input, and to be very honest with you, I go with information that resonates with my spirit as correct. And so the concept that I see in research, and again, I don't profess to be a scholar, but I do want to say that I've done a lot of research and that I'm skeptical of sources. And when I hear something or see something or read something, I don't just take it at face value. I Google search. I find out what the credentials of the individuals are that are making the claims. I see what other folks have thought about it. Which brings me back to science for a minute. Because many of you may be saying, well, this doesn't square with scientific theory at all. And to that I say hogwash. Because if you really look into the situation, and I don't want to downplay scientists, I believe scientists can prove and measure their theories. But what I do know in research is that there is also an element of the scientific community that operates in dogma, scientific dogma. And in a lot of ways, they are as exclusive in their practices as evangelical Christianity is. If a physicist or a cognitive scientist or a biologist or a chemist varies from the accepted dogma, it can be career suicide. There are individuals that are bold and that go against the grain. And from time to time in these videos, you're going to hear me mention the name Rupert Sheldrake. He is a biologist in the United Kingdom that has a theory called morphic resonance, or fields of morphic resonance. And he's done some studies, and he flies in the face of a lot of biology experts because he believes most definitely and has had proofs to a degree that show telepathy, that show that there is what he calls morphic fields of resonance. And so that explains why when you look at somebody, or if you stare at somebody, and even if their back is turned, eventually they may turn around and look at you. And the reason is that we operate within fields. And quantum mechanics also states that. And the early physics claimed that there was a field of ether. So now there are field theories. And so it is not unreasonable to accept, in my mind, that fields of energy, fields of energy potential, are the underlying and undergirding principles of the universe that we live in. And so in these studies that I plan to present, the logos, or the word, or consciousness, is a very important ingredient. And it dates all the way back, as far as writing goes, to Egypt. And the Hermetic information of ancient Egypt that is written on hieroglyphs on a pyramid in Saqqara, Egypt, that essentially state that the God of the universe, or the source of creation, is consciousness, and that the Word is the offspring or son of consciousness, and is the creative source of ordering the universe. And this idea transcends cultures. It is said that Pythagoras picked this information up in Egypt, and he took it to Greece. And of course, it was believed and wrote about and spoken about and taught about by Plato, by Heraclitus, by the Stoics. Eventually, Philo got into the understanding of the Logos. And Philo was a Jewish philosopher that had been heavily influenced by Hellenization of the Jews. And he was a contemporary of Jesus. And he believed that the Word was the creative source, that it was the progeny of deity, and that it was a mediator. So what I want you to understand is this: I have not just pulled this stuff out of the sky or out of the air. It has foundations. Now, I must warn you, it has its skeptics. And certainly as we go along, we'll address some of that skepticism. Because if we get back to the concept that now at Stanford University, for example, Dr. Donald Hoffman and his students are doing science in the cognitive era that suggests that the universe is mental. And Bernardo Kastrup, a Jungian philosopher and psychology student, believes that the universe is mental. And quantum mechanics shows that consciousness affects the known universe, the material world, at the very small atomic level. And so I guess I'm not going to really get to my presuppositions on this one, because I'm already at 15 minutes and I want to end it there. But this is the study that I want to continue to give, because I've written a blog about it, but it seems that in this day and time that video presentations are able to get out more information. And in the time I have left in this world, I want to make sure that I share what I've discovered. And it doesn't have to be for everybody. I'm not trying to make disciples. I'm not trying to evangelize. I just want to present to the Christ follower that is no longer satisfied with the evangelical or the orthodox explanation of Christianity. I just want to share what I've discovered. So, until the next time, whenever you're watching this, excuse me, morning, noon, evening, whenever, just really, really, really have a great day. And I thank you.